Okay, this is a video by me, custom for Kids UK, and it's in response with Kidstance USA. So we've talked about modifying kids ride-ons, and I just wanted to go into batteries. Now, as you look on here, this is a True Select 12 volt 20 amp 20 hour rate battery. This one here is a 12 volt 20 amp hour 10 amp hour rated battery, and this is your a 6 volt system which is rated at 20 amp hours. So effectively all of these batteries are 20 amp hours, but as you'll probably notice, there's a considerable size difference. So that's your batteries, and these are your chargers. Now, most of you will have a stock charger that came with your battery and with your vehicle. And if you look at the bottom, I'm trying to show you here, it will say the output 12 volts 2 amps. And this one here is 12 volts and 3 amps, which is right there. So with that in mind, let's chuck them all out of the way and we'll do your maths. Now, when you've got your 12 volt system and your amps, a 20 amp battery, we can do the maths this way. 12 times 20 equals 240 watt. So that's they're 240 watt batteries. Now, this is a standard 12 volt system, or it runs on 6 volts motor, and let's see if we can get this into focus. So as you can see on there, it's a 9,000 RPM, 20 to 45 watts, and 6 to 12 volts. Different motors, different speeds, different torques. So that's about, we'll say that's 40 watts. So I'm writing it down over here. So let's divide that by 40, gives you 6 hours. 6 hours. However, that's not going to be how much you get. AGM, which is acid gel matte, or LA, lead acid, will give you 50% of the total. So when we go over to your 6 hours, it's about 3 hours. 3 hours. Right then, as we change then to that's no load, so that means just the motor turning by itself will run for 3 hours. So you're looking at probably about 1.5 hours. It's going to be roughly about 50%, and this goes uphill, downhill, weight load, etc. The calculations for weight and speed are watts, and 1 horsepower is 746 watts. So let's have a look at charging. So you've got a 12 volt battery, 20 amp hours. Now your maximum, or a totally dead battery, will give you, use up 10 amps. You should get a reading of about 10 volts. That's from your power supply. So if you have a multimeter and you've used up 10 amps, you should get a 10 volt reading on your multimeter. So when you want to charge down, I've already done the maths here, 12 volts with your 10 amp draw. So 1 amp's going to take 10 hours, 2 amps 5 hours, 3 amps 3.3, 4 2.5, and a 6 amp is 1.6 hours. That's your charge times. But you're never ever probably going to end up using 10 amps. You're probably more likely choose between 3 and 6 amp. And by the power of the pause button, you can see that if you're using about we say 6 amps, your 2 amps going to give you 3 hour charge time, 3 amp 2 hour, 4 amp hour and a half, and a 6 amp charge at 1 hour. Now, as you can see, I've got different size batteries. This one is a 6-volt battery, don't really use it. So I've got initial current 3, and this one actually doesn't say it, but it's something like about 4 or 5. So you want to match your chargers with these, because the glass mat and surface area designed inside, these ones are extra weight, a true select, so equivalent of a deep cycle battery, leisure battery, and this one is the equivalent of a car battery. So you're limited to what you can actually charge from safety. So usually around about 4 to 6 amps you can charge a battery, and then it's just simply a matter of doing the maths. On average, I end up charging at 4 amps for about an hour and a half to 2.5 hours after the children have been out playing. But it all goes down to, if you want to change over these, how you wire up your batteries, what motors you're using, what terrain you're using, will all affect what you're actually doing, as in how much power you're drawing from your batteries and how much amps you need to put in it. And ultimately, it all boils down to your wattage. So I'll do another video which will tell you power versus amps versus wattage versus child weight, and your motor configuration. So hopefully that'll help somebody. Hope you enjoy. Bye.